का था, दिस इज द कैल्टेक्स कंपनसेशन प्रिंसिपल। थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है। लास्ट टाइम आई वाज ट्राइंग टू गिव यू अ बैकड्रॉप ऑफ ज़ाइटोवेस्की भी साथ में। इसमें देखते हैं व्हाट्स न्यू। चलो नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। ओके, see, three names are again written over here. Calder, Hicks, and Zytowski have given their test for judging an increase in welfare. See, the basic difference between the two is जैसे पेरेटो और कैल्डर हिक्स से अगर पूछा जाए डिफरेंस क्या है, तो पेरेटो इज ओल्ड welfare and Calder Hicks and Zytowski is the new welfare. Old welfare states, Pareto ka concept states that you cannot make someone better off without making someone worse off. But Calder Hicks and Zytowski says that you can make someone better off, and if you will make someone better off, someone else will get worse off, but then you can compensate that person who is getting worse off. तो ये दोनों डिफरेंस है स्कूल ऑफ थॉट्स में, ओल्ड में और न्यू में. End result, everybody wants the same, that is everybody wants welfare only. So like it's written over here, देखिए आप, Pareto, they isolate the problem of production from that of distribution. They deal with policy change with ambiguous welfare effects, saying that if the people benefiting from it can gainfully compensate the losers, then the policy change is desirable, otherwise not. So this extension is properly called the compensation principle. तो deal क्या है with policy change? अगर कोई policy ऐसी बनी है, ambiguous welfare effects, saying that if the people benefiting from it can gainfully compensate the loser, then the policy change is desirable. So automatically they are saying that someone will get worse off, ठीक है, लेकिन हम उसको compensate कर देंगे. And compensation can can come in different forms, but that's the basic difference between old and the new welfare. So first slides cleared the concept that this is what old welfare, this is what new welfare is all about. Next slide. इसको please make this diagram. A's utility is on OX axis, B's utility is on OY axis. This is the utility possibility curve. Actually, this is the Calder-Hicks criteria explained with utility possibility curve. ये चीज बहुत एग्जाम में आती है. This is very important. They directly ask you explain Calder-Hicks with utility possibility curve. So make this diagram. बन गया? Okay. Because all of you have drawn it, so आप next slide खोल सकते हैं. In the next slide, there is actually an explanation of Calder-Hicks criteria explained with utility possibility curve. Calder-Hicks can be explained with the help of this. See, ordinal utility. सबसे पहले तो ये difference है that other criteria using cardinal, मगर welfare economics से everything is is all about ordinal utility. So utility of two individual A and B is shown on X and Y axis, as you can see. DE is the utility possibility curve. It's a inverted curve and it's a DE touching both the axes. And it's a utility possibility curve which represents the various combination of utilities obtained by individual A and B. Utilities obtained by individual A and B, ये जो जितना TRGS आपको दिख रहा है, all the points on the utility possibility curve, These points are basically on this utility possibility curve and shows the various combination of utilities that has been obtained by individuals. As you move downward on the curve DE, utility of A increases. जितना नीचे A की तरफ जाएंगे, A के एक्सिस की तरफ जाएंगे, that is OX axis, utility of A will increase while that of B falls. And on the other hand, if you move up on the utility curve EB, then utility of B increases while that of A falls. So पहला perception, पहला explanation जो आएगा इस diagram का वो ये है that utility possibility curve is both A and B. Downward sloping, A's utility increase, B falls, whereas upward sloping on the when you're moving towards D side, B utility increase, whereas A's falls. Next slide. In the next slide, you will see. Change the slide. Suppose the utilities obtained by A and B from the distribution of income or output between them is represented by point Q. Point Q को देख लीजिए अपने उसमें is represented by point Q. Can you see point Q, all of you? R और S से मिलके बना हुआ है point Q. S is A's utility, QS or QR is B's utility. Inside the utility possibility curve DE, and you have to assume that some of the change in economic policy, the two individuals move from point Q to point T on the utility possibility curve DE. Q जो है वो utility possibility curve के नीचे है, that is it is beneath or rather under the UPC curve. What happens there are certain policy changes that actually shifts the person utility from Q to T. तो वो पॉसिबिलिटी कर्व पे आ गया. पॉलिसी चेंजेस कुछ अच्छे ही हुए हैं जिसकी वजह से ये शिफ्ट हुआ है. दिस कैन बी बेसिकली, अगर इसको आप रियलिस्टिकली या अप्लाइड पार्ट में देखें कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पॉलिसी चेंजेस that can make this individual shifts its utility possibility curve, then that could be poverty alleviation program, unemployment program, employment generation program. इस तरीके के programs जब होते हैं तो उससे shift होता है, utility में shift होता है because the person is getting more income. So as a result, the person shifts from Q to T. Okay. The two individuals move from point Q to point T on the utility possibility curve. As a result of this movement, utility of individual B has increased while the utility of A has declined. B has increased, A has declined. इसका मतलब ये है क्योंकि T is closer to B's utility. तो ऐसे it was already clear that अगर ऊपर की तरफ movement होगा तो B की utility बढ़ेगी. So B's utility have increased and A have declined. That is B has become better off and A has become worse off. अब situation change हुई है and then before. Therefore, this movement from point Q to point T cannot be evaluated by means of Pareto criteria because somebody is becoming better worse off. So उस case में they are saying you cannot now explain this entire situation with the Pareto optimality. Instead, you will be needing a different principle here. Of course, points such as R, G, S, as you can see, or any other point on the segment RS of utility possibility curve, DE, are socially preferable to point Q on the basis of Pareto criteria. Socially preferable. इसको underline कर लीजिए. Social preferable का मतलब ये है कि there is a society is basically actually divided into, in case of a welfare economics, the society is basically divided into class. Class meaning associated with per capita income. So social preferable, socially preferable to point Q on the basis of what they are saying कि T is or R is way better or socially preferable than Q. इसका मतलब ये है कि इसका the person or the individual's social status have increased because of whatever reason. पॉलिसी चेंजेस भी हैं इसमें. So that is why the higher curve is always better than the lower one, or the point which is lying at the lower end, that is Q, T is way better than Q, or R is way better than Q. Next slide. Okay, in the next slide we will see next. See, however, the compensation principle, propounded by Calder and Hicks enables to say whether or not the social welfare has increased as a result of movement from Q to T. अब social welfare बढ़ा है कि नहीं ये पता नहीं है, लेकिन हाँ ये जरूर दिख रहा है कि there is a shift, और शिफ्ट हुई है तो सोशल वेलफेयर मान के चला जा रहा है कि इंक्रीज हुआ. अब इसको लिख लीजिए, व्हाट इज सोशल वेलफेयर, यहीं पे लिखिए. Welfare economics is a study of how the allocation of resources. Welfare economics is a study of how the allocation of resources and goods affects social welfare. Social welfare के दो component हैं. This relates directly to the study of economic efficiency and income distribution. This relates directly to the study of economic efficiency and income distribution. This relates directly to the study of economic efficiency and income distribution, as well as how they affect the overall well-being of people, as well as how they affect the overall well-being of people in the economy. So two component, economic efficiency और income distribution पे depend है social welfare. इकोनॉमिक एफिशिएंसी बढ़ेगी तो इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है, और उसकी वजह से द चेंजेस कम, कोई बेटर ऑफ होता है, कोई वर्स ऑफ होता है. As I said, it is connected with the social status या class. So social welfare more or less economic efficiency और income distribution का concept है. Okay, इसमें आगे लिखिए. In using welfare measures of persons in the society as inputs, in using welfare measures of persons in the society as inputs, the social welfare function is individualistic in form. The social welfare function is individualistic in form. The social welfare function provides the government. The social welfare function provides the government with a simple guideline for achieving the optimal distribution of income. The social welfare function provides the government with a simple guideline for achieving the optimal distribution of income. Two major distinct social welfare functions are two major distinct but related social welfare functions are: first, A. Bergerson-Samuelson social welfare function, BERGSON. Bergerson Samuelson, SAMUELSON. Bergeson Samuelson social welfare function. Next. Second is an arrow social welfare function. Arrow social welfare function. So two types of a social welfare function. So that is why social welfare is important here. And as you can see that socially अगर आदमी एक better off होगा तो दूसरा worse off होता ही है. Redistribution of income अगर आप किसी से करेंगे तो किसी से लेके किसी को देंगे. So that means जिससे भी आप ले रहे हैं necessarily it's not necessary that that big person will become poor, but वो worse off होगा, which is a fact. Okay. Um, the compensation principle propounded by Calder enables us to say whether or not the social welfare is increased as a result of movement from Q to T. According to Calder Hicks, we have to see whether the individual A who gains from the movement from position Q to position T will could compensate the individual A who is loser and still be better off than before. Actually, यहाँ पे लिखा होना चाहिए था whether the individual B who gains from the movement from Q to position T could compensate the individual A who is a loser and still better off from them. So compensation का idea है यहाँ पे that they are saying कि okay, there is nothing wrong in becoming rich. Let's become rich, but let's share what the riches with the others also. Compensate them, you know. So so for the first time, the welfare economics was talking about the concept of economic efficiency and as I said, income redistribution. तो इकोनॉमिक एफिशिएंसी को डिफाइन करने के लिए जब कहा गया कि क्या मतलब होता है इकोनॉमिक एफिशिएंसी का, तो इकोनॉमिक एफिशिएंसी इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट दैट वाज फर्स्ट you know was discussed in welfare economics only. Economic efficiency अकेले अगर आप पढ़ेंगे the concept in itself is when all factor of production and economy or distribution distributed or allocated to their most valuable use and waste is eliminated or minimized. ये general definition है economic efficiency. But economic efficiency in welfare economics उसका मतलब होता है, उसको लिखिए, when the economy is in a state of Pareto efficiency, when economy is in a state of Pareto efficiency, social welfare is maximized. When the economy is in a state of Pareto efficiency, social welfare is maximized in the sense that no resources can be reallocated, no resources can be reallocated to make one individual better off, to make one individual better off without making at least one individual worse off. To make one individual better off without making at least one individual worse off. तो पेरेटो एफिशिएंसी अपने आप में एक गोल भी है इकोनॉमी का टू एक्चुअली अचीव द पेरेटो एफिशिएंट स्टेट इन विच समवन इज बिकमिंग बेटर ऑफ विदाउट मेकिंग समवन वर्स ऑफ. तो ये एक यू नो गुड इकोनॉमी गोल है. But how many economies able to achieve it with economic efficiency and income redistribution, that has to be seen. uh, the countries the countries like India have a kitna larger gap between haves and have not, and this gap has been increasing. So welfare का concept, welfare state कहना अपने को तब तक सही नहीं है until unless you either achieve a Pareto optimality or some criteria of Hicks. So okay, let's move on to the next slide. Now you can see from the figure. Next slide. Now you can see from the figure that utility possibility curve DE passes to point R, J and S. अभी तक Q और T की बात हो रही थी, अब R, J and S. This means that by mere redistribution of income between the two individuals, that is, if individual B gives some compensation to individual A for the loss suffered, they can move from position T to position R. So simple चीज कह रहे हैं कि रिडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इनकम अगर हो जाए, इस केस में केवल दो इंडिविजुअल हैं सिंपल रखने के लिए, बट एक्चुअली में दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इन द एंटायर इकोनॉमी. सो रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इनकम, if that is if individual gives some compensation, individual B gives some compensation to A. So compensation principle एक्चुअली में ये कह रहा है कि किसी ना किसी फॉर्म में लूजर को आप कंपनसेट करिए. It is evident from the figure that at position R, individual A as well as in position Q, uh, as individual A is as well off as at the position Q, but individual B is still better off as compared to position Q. It means due to a policy change and consequent movement from position Q to position T, the gainer, that is individual B, could compensate the loser, individual A, and still is better off than Q. क्योंकि वो कह रहे हैं कि बी तो वैसे ही शिफ्ट कर गया है ऊपर की तरफ, तो थोड़ा सा कंपनसेट कर दे ए टुवर्ड्स ए, दे विल ही विल, और वो जो पोजीशन है बी की वो वैसे ही रहेगी, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम इन दैट. बट ये जो रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है इसको कराने के लिए बहुत मुश्किल है. लाइक जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यू इंक्रीज द इनकम टैक्स रेट्स. ना इनकम टैक्स, आप लोगों को पता है इस समय कितनी स्लैब्स चल रही हैं इंडिया में बजट में इन द इनकम टैक्स? एनीवन हैज एन आइडिया कितनी स्लैब्स हैं इस समय? सीरियसली, looking here and there, looking on Google will not help. You should have known this answer. Anybody has an idea? No. बजट नहीं देखा था इस बार का? वाह, चलिए मैं ही बता देती हूँ. 5 लाख से 7.5 लाख पहली स्लैब है जिसमें आपका 10% लगा हुआ है इनकम टैक्स. 7.5 से फिर 10 है, फिर 10 से 12.5 है, फिर 12.5 से 14 है, फिर उसके बाद 15 है राधा, फिर उसके बाद देयर इज 30% टैक्स लगा हुआ, 15% से ऊपर इनकम. दिस इज नॉट इनकम टैक्स. अब इस केस में क्या हो रहा है? इस केस में आप जिसके पास है उससे लेके दूसरे को दे रहे हैं कि नहीं? सो रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इनकम इज गोइंग ऑन हियर. सो इनकम टैक्स इज अ गुड एग्जांपल ऑफ दैट. बट बेटर ऑफ होने का मतलब है हायर कर्व पे जाना. So it is evident from the figure that position R, individual A is well off as at the position Q, but individual B is still better off as compared to position Q. It means due to a policy change and consequent movement from position Q to position T, the gainer could compensate the loser and still be better off. तो rich है वो तो rich ही रहेगा, तो किसी फॉर्म में उसको compensate करना चाहिए. The person who is not able to meet that, और या वो loser है किसी भी फॉर्म में. Next slide. According to Calder-Hicks criteria, social welfare increases with the movement from position Q to position T. इस दोनों को सर्कल कर लीजिए, Q को भी सर्कल कर लिए, T को भी सर्कल करिए. तो पोजीशन में वेलफेयर इंक्रीज कब होगा? जब मूवमेंट होगा. कहाँ से? फ्रॉम पोजीशन Q to position T. Because from T they could move to the position R through mere redistribution of income, that is compensation. तो वो easy है T से R में shift होने. So it is noteworthy that according to Calder-Hicks criteria, compensation may not be actually paid to judge whether or not social welfare has increased. It is enough to know whether the gainer could compensate the loser for the loss of the welfare and still be better. So they are clarifying that compensation may not be actually be paid to judge whether or not the social welfare is increased. So they are saying that it will happen. It's enough to know that the gainer could compensate the loser. So that's it. So it's a kind of a here यहाँ पे जो है वो तो काफी superficial level पे लग रहा है. The concept. आगे देखिए whether redistribution of income that is payment of compensation should be actually made following the change in policy is left for the government to decide. It is possible for the gainer to compensate the loser and still be better off. The economists can say the social welfare has increased. So compensate the loser and still be better off. तो दोनों ही बढ़ेंगे. एक तो कहा भाई एक ने दूसरे को कहा कि कोई बात नहीं, you also come and I'll compensate that. So, and in spite of the fact that he's helping the other person, this in a individual will remain better off. उसकी better off की situation कभी change नहीं होती. हाँ, next. It may be noted that gainer can compensate the loser and still be better off only when the change in economic policy leads to the inner increase or real income. इसको underline कर लीजिए, नहीं तो लिख लीजिए कॉपी में. Change in economic policy leads to the increase in output or real income. Economic policy सही हो तो दोनों चीजें बढ़ेंगी, output भी and real income भी. That is why Calder and Hicks claim that they have been able to distinguish between changes in output from changes in distribution. When the criteria is satisfied by a change in the situation, it means that the economy has moved to a potentially more efficient position, and as a result, social welfare can be increased to have increased. Now, whether redistribution of income is actually made through payment of compensation by the gainer to loser, according to them, is a different matter. But at least वो better हुआ है, बस ये है. क्या हो सकता है उसने इतना compensate करा हो जिससे वो better हो गया, तो they are saying that is another topic. But in this case, what you're seeing that there is a shift from Q to T, and there's a potentially more efficient position पे move किया गया है. As a result, social welfare बढ़ा है. Next slide. Now the implication of Calder-Hicks criteria become more clear if through redistribution the position of the two individual changes from T to G. अब देखिए और थोड़ा सा चेंज किया है, Q से T हुआ, उसने कहा थोड़ा सा और फिर जब शिफ्ट हो ही रहा है तो why not the shift should happen actually for better, तो T से G पे शिफ्ट कर, सेम मूवमेंट होगा यूटिलिटी पॉसिबिलिटी कर्व पे, but this time the shifting has been done from T to G. It is quite manifest that at position G both the individual A and B are better off than at position Q. Thus the position T to which the two individuals moved has as a result of certain change in economic policy superior to the initial position. That's what I'm saying. Q से हर चीज better है, T भी better है, G भी better है, RE and SP. So from the viewpoint social welfare, since from position T movement can be made merely through the distribution of income to position G, where both are better off as compared to position Q. तो जितने भी पॉइंट्स आपको कर्व पे दिखेंगे वो सब बेटर ऑफ है जी से, बेटर ऑफ एज कम्पेयर सॉरी क्यू से. तो इस दिस इन दिस केस ओनली दिस मियरली रिडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इनकम हुआ है एक से दूसरे. अब ये कई चीजें करती हैं. रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इनकम के बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स होते हैं क्या विच कॉजेज और विच ट्रिगर्स दिस redistribution. Now, taxes are only way of collecting revenue, although you are collecting more from the rich, but still it's not the redistribution of income nahi ho raha hai. Rich is still getting richer because for that person the money value is very low. So welfare actually में कैसे इसको नापा जाए, that is the basic problem here. Next slide. Next slide. Therefore, according to Calder-Hicks criteria, social welfare increases with the movement from position Q to position T. यह जैसे ही shift होगा from position Q to position T, the position T to which the two individual, the position T to which the two individual moved as a result of certain change in economic policy superior to the initial Q. And since from the position T movement we made through redistribution of income to position G, where both are better off as compared to Q. So that's what I was saying. Next slide. Next. It may be noted that in the situation depicted in figure, the change in economic policy brings about a movement from a position inside the utility possibility curve to a point on it. चेंज यहाँ से देखा गया कि एक तो अंदर था वो यूटिलिटी पॉसिबिलिटी कर्व जो था, that was a position that was holding a position that was inside the curve, but because of the possibility curve, because of the movement, uh, this movement has caused to a point now, social welfare, if as a result of the adoption of certain economic policy, the utility possibility curve moves outward and the two individuals move from a point on the lower possibility curve. अच्छा, ये एक next figure इसमें होगी. Next slide. इसको बना लीजिए. This is a Calder-Hicks welfare criteria. Calder-Hicks welfare criteria. This is a very simple diagram. Calder-Hicks welfare criteria. It's a very simple diagram shown here. इसको लिखिए इसके नीचे. According to Calder welfare criteria, if a certain change in economic organization, or policy makes someone better off and others worse off, will increase social welfare. यह कैसे बढ़ेगा? Will increase social welfare if those who gain from the change could compensate the losers and still be better off than before. Will increase social welfare if those who gain from the change would compensate the loser and still be better off than before. This is how the welfare criteria works. Okay. आगे लिखिएगा. The compensation principle suggested by Calder and Hicks. The compensation principle suggested by Calder and Hicks comma, even though stated in different words, actually means the same thing. The only difference is that Hicks has given his criteria. From viewpoint of losers. The only difference is that Hicks has given his criteria from viewpoint of losers, whereas Calder formulated his criteria from viewpoint of gainers. Hicks has given his criteria from viewpoint of losers, whereas Calder formulated his criteria from viewpoint of gainers. So that's the major difference. एक ने loser के point से दिया है, एक ने gainer के point से दिया. So after drawing this, you can understand कि जो ऊपर वाला कर्व है जब वो शिफ्ट होगा ऊपर वाले में तो वेलफेयर होता है. There is a अच्छा कैल्डर हिक्स कंपनसेशन के बाद this is a compensation. इससे पहले वाला I'm again clearing it that that was basically a कैल्डर हिक्स efficiency difference है. आप लिखिए हेडिंग डालिए साइटोवेस्की पैराडॉक्स पे थोड़ा सा लिख लीजिए. SCITOVSKY SCITOVSKY साइटोवेस्की पैराडॉक्स. According to this paradox in welfare economics, according to this paragraph, according to this paradox in welfare economics, which is resolved by stating that there is no increase in social welfare, which is resolved by stating that there is no increase in social welfare by a return to the original part of the losers. By a return to the original part of the losers. It is named after the Hungarian-born American economist. It is named after the Hungarian-born American economist Tibor Saitoveski. Tibor and Saitoveski. SCITOVSKY. And this is also known as Saitoveski criteria, also known as welfare economics part 2, क्योंकि Saitoveski criteria, talks about the different concept a little bit. So यहाँ से लिखिएगा. Saitoveski criteria was developed by, as I said, Tibor Saitoveski. In his paper का नाम लिखिए, A Note on Welfare Proposition in Economics. A Note on Welfare Proposition in Economics. This was the paper which he wrote. A Note on Welfare Proposition in Economics in 1941. In order to solve the inconsistencies known as Saitoveski paradox, dash that Calder and Hicks criteria presented. That Calder and Hicks criteria presented. So in order to clear the inconsistencies, he came up with this thing. Further, Saitoveski was also the author of the Community Indifference Curve. Saitoveski was also the author of the Community Indifference Curve. which is a remarkable analytical device, which is a remarkable analytical device that can be superimposed upon a production possibility frontier, that can be superimposed upon a production possibilities frontier, and thus help one visualize the Paretian conditions for optimality, and thus help one visualize the Paretian conditions for optimality. That can be superimposed upon a production possibility frontier, thus help one visualize the Paretian condition for optimality. Okay. Actually, there is one more diagram of Cytovesky which I don't think I have put up in this. Cytovesky also pointed out an important limitation of Kaldor-Hicks criteria. Cytovesky also pointed out an important limitation of Kaldor-Hicks criteria. So that was major achievement. Now write Cytovesky double criteria. SCITOVSKY apostrophe S. Cytovesky's double criteria. एक क्राइटेरिया की जगह उसने कहा डबल चेक कर लीजिए कि सोशल वेलफेयर हुआ है कि नहीं, तो इंश्योर दैट देयर इज नो इनकंसिस्टेंसी इन सोशल वेलफेयर इंप्रूवमेंट, to ensure that there is no inconsistency in social welfare improvement, he suggests a double criteria. He suggests a double criteria. अब इसको बुलेट पॉइंट में लिखिएगा. पहला है double criteria. If the gainer of a change can persuade loser to accept the change. If the gainer of the change can persuade loser to accept the change. Second, but losers are not able to pursue the gainers. But losers are not able to pursue the gainers to remain in the original situation. But losers are not able to pursue the gainers to remain in the original situation. It leads to improvement in social welfare. It leads to improvement in social welfare. But अब इसको भी points में लिखिएगा. Assume that welfare can be measured in money term. Assume that welfare can be measured in money term. Next, assume equal distribution of income. Assume equal distribution of income. But if B is a poor man and A is a rich man, if B is a poor man and A is a rich man, then later can dominate over B. But if B is a poor man and A is a rich man, then later can dominate over B. Assume marginal utility, next bullet है, assume marginal utility, सबस्क्रिप्ट में m लिखिए, small m, equal if book A. Assume mu for both are equal if, sorry, assume equal distribution of income, but if B is a poor man and A is rich man, then later can dominate over B. Assume mu for both are equal. If B is poorer, then his mu will be greater than of A. Assume mu for both are equal. If B is poorer, then his mu will be greater than of A. Theoretically, next point, theoretically, actually no real compensation is paid. Actually, no real compensation is paid. So that's it. This is the Cytovsky double criteria. इसको थोड़ा सा और elaborate करेंगे हम. But that will be in the next class. I'll be giving you a couple of times also on Cytovsky double criteria. ये Cytovsky double criteria, his Kaldor-Hicks compensation principle, Kaldor-Hicks efficiency. ये जो जितना भी मैं आप लोगों को होमवर्क देती जाती हूँ, which you people never mention कि किया कि नहीं, anyway, ये सब इसको बढ़ाते जाएं. अब इसमें there is one more thing. We will add Cytovsky double criteria. I'll give you a diagram. Abhi ke liye I'm stopping this class. Give me 10 minutes. I'll again join you for DE class. Diksha, do we have any PPT for DE? देख लो, एक पुराना अगर हो कोई, मैंने कंप्लीट ना किया, एक बार चेक कर लो, नहीं है तो I'll give it to you. ठीक है? I'm joining you in 10